Derby County seem to have had another bid rejected for Hull City fullback Cody Drameh. Now, Cody Drameh is a saga that has been ongoing for the last few weeks, with the likes of Preston North End and Blackburn Rovers also being interested. Well, over the course of the last weekend, it is now being reported by Hull Live that Derby County have had a second bid rejected, this time one on a permanent deal for Derby County to sign the 23-year-old fullback. It is also anticipated that Hull City's former manager Liam Rossigna, who is now in charge of Strasbourg over in France, remains a huge fan and could be a driver in a potential move for Cody Drameh. Now, obviously, if Strasbourg do come in, then you can shut down any potential move for Derby County, because who doesn't want to play European football? Now, Scottish Giants Rangers are also said to be interested, but Derby County seem to be the only team sort of left in the hunt for it from the likes of Preston North End and Blackburn Rovers. But there's probably a few other clubs in there as well, which we've spoke about in other videos. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets. Now, obviously, when we talk about Cody Drameh, we have to acknowledge that Hull City have no reason to sell the player. Although he wasn't a massive part of Ruben Sellers' plans last year, Ruben Sellers has since been sacked, and Hull City are set to appoint a new manager. Now, obviously, he does have, I think it's 2 years left on his contract, plus an option for an extra 12 months, which means that realistically, it's not going to be a cheap deal, with Hull Live expecting a 7-figure fee to be the minimum to get Cody Drameh out of Hull City. And at the moment, none of the bids from Derby County, Preston North End, Blackburn Rovers have met that sort of evaluation that they seem to have. And that is okay. That's perfectly fine. If Hull City want X, Hull City will get X, and that's completely fine. That's what they have to do. And for me, do we need Cody Drameh? Now, there's going to be a lot of conversations in regards to this because of the rumours that are going around in regards of Kane Wilson, which I've reported on this YouTube channel, discussing the rumours that Kane Wilson has rejected a contract from Derby County, and his wage demands at the moment are exceeding what Derby County are willing to pay. And I think that's a very sort of interesting sort of thing to sort of take a hold on, really, because if Kane Wilson was to leave Derby County, then Cody Drameh, I'm not saying is an obvious replacement, but is certainly someone that can take up that role at right back in which Kane Wilson has played. I'm not necessarily saying he's the sort of attacking fullback replacement that we'd necessarily need, but he certainly offers another option. And I'm not even saying that Kane Wilson has to leave for Drameh to join, because I do believe that Cody Drameh is sort of a good player, and I think that he could join and play for Derby County even with Kane Wilson still here. I think it would be a case of sort of different sort of moves to make up what really needs to happen at Derby County for me, because obviously Drameh can play across the back four, which obviously opens the door for him to be sort of a very, very good squad player and to be utilised really well by the management structure at Derby County, which I believe John Eustace is sort of chasing, that sort of versatility, and is also searching for players that he knows that can perform at this level. And we've seen Cody Drameh do that for Eustace. We've seen obviously Dion Sanderson, who's another player linked to Derby County, who John Eustace has worked with before. The likes of Andreas Weidman and Danny Bath are all players John Eustace has worked with before, and in my opinion, it's the right sort of move to get players who he trusts and understands, because if you don't have trust and understanding, then it's going to be really difficult to sort of put together sort of a proper sort of challenge to not only stay in the division, but maybe push for sort of the top half, and maybe even sort of a push for playoff positions across the course of the season, which is obviously sort of one of those things which I'm obviously not saying Derby County are going to be pushing promotion or even pushing for the playoffs, but it's something that with John Eustace in charge we can now sort of have a real sort of conversation about, because it is a possibility. We've seen with Blackburn Rovers what he did with them. We've seen with Birmingham City what he did with them. And I'm not saying that he's going to take Derby County to the playoffs, but I do believe there's that sort of conversation to be had, that he could potentially find himself sort of with Derby County in those playoff positions. And that's something that we need to be prepared for, and it's about having the right players in the club. And I think last year, if you look at the squad, the starting 11 I think was good enough to be comfortable mid-table, but once you pick up the injuries, the depth wasn't there. I don't think like the likes of Tom Barkhuizen and things like that, I just don't necessarily think were good enough for the Championship. There's other players as well on the bench that I could mention that have also moved on. You look at the likes of Tawanda Chiwa, who quite clearly wasn't good enough. There's other players in that sort of ilk as well across the course of Derby County last season that weren't good enough to play for us, but essentially got games because we had nobody else. Realistically, I think Dejan Brown should have headed out on loan. If you realistically want to look at it, Jake Rooney should have headed out on loan, but we had to keep them on the bench, and Dejan Brown got minutes, Jake Rooney didn't. But it's that sort of thing for me, where bringing in someone like Cody Drameh, who can play all across the back four, I believe he can play in midfield as well. Let me just check that out. I could be wrong on that one. But I believe he can play all across the back four. He can play as a holding midfielder and as a centre-back. So I was kind of there. But it's one of those for me where I think he can certainly have an impact. And I think it's that versatility that gives you the impact that you need, in my opinion. Because when you are versatile and you have that sort of quality on the bench, we could take more attackers to a game because you've got Cody Drameh on the bench who can play left back, right back and centre back. You've got, if you then look at someone like Ben Osborne, if he's on the pitch, he can play left back, he can play central midfield, he can play wing back. Like, it's those sort of players that I think Derby County miss a lot of the time. And if you go back to years when we've been good, we've had players like Harry Wilson. I'm not saying Derby County are going to be anywhere near picking up a player like Harry Wilson, but you've got someone like Harry Wilson who can play left, right, striker as a 10, he can play as an 8. You had Mason Mount who could play all through the central of midfield, could play on the right as well if needed. You go to someone like Jayden Bogle, could play right back, right wing. Like, if you go back to our sort of good years, you even go to our season in League One, and you've got someone like Max Bird who can play as a sitting midfielder, can play as a box-to-box, can play as a number 10. You've got Mendes Lang who played on the left and the right across the course of that season. You've also got Craig Forsyth playing centre-back, left wing-back, left-back. And for me, that's massively important to have those sorts of players. I think it was Kane Wilson played right-back, right wing, played as a number 9, played as a right wing-back. And for me, versatility is so key to being a competitive force in any sort of division, because if your best players are versatile, they can stay on the pitch no matter what. You look at Kevin De Bruyne at Man City. Now, obviously, Derby County aren't going to be picking up someone like Kevin De Bruyne, but he can play as a 10, he can play as an 8, realistically could play as a sitter, but maybe not on his own. You'd probably have to have him in a double pivot. If you go across the course of his career, he's played on the right, he's played on the left as well. So it's those sort of players that you want to keep on the pitch, that you want to have that versatility of you being able to put them in wherever they sort of need to be, really. And that's obviously something which Derby County will be looking and chasing across the course of this upcoming transfer window. Now, you can obviously let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County content. And if you have not done so already, check out my gaming channel. It will be linked down in the description. We're going through the GTA 5 story mode at the moment. I'm going to try and get some F125 content recorded and posted over there as well. So make sure you do go and check that out, and I'll catch you in my next video. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets.